I will show you how I installed current conducting couplers, a pickup shoe and interior lights in a standard Marklin passenger car, in this case a restaurant car. Most of Marklin's cars can be pulled apart by taking off the two end pieces that are simply clipped in place. And then you can pull off the housing from the bottom frame. I just tried here with some steady pressure or steady pulling and hope that somewhere it will give, which it's doing right now, just here in the middle. A little more tug. Let me try it on the other side. Up, and there it clips loose. Good deal. And you can see this car has an asymmetric interior. It's always a good idea to remember how the shell was put on the car. This has a restaurant area, or a kitchen area, I should say, and that aligns with those windows. The windows itself are often not glued into the housing. They simply clip in place, and we'll worry about that, putting them back in place when we reassemble the car. Now for this interior, you notice these little brass ends. They're actually part of the current conducting coupler setup, and in this car, those at least are pre-installed. The trucks clip in place, and I'll try to pull them off. There you go. Because it makes it a little bit easier to install the current conducting couplers. Okay, now we need to try to take the interior off of the bottom frame. And again, I'll try to just use my fingernails and see if it pops loose. It's held in place by these tiny little clips on each side. And if they don't want to give, you can simply take a screwdriver, like I do here, and push the little tabs away. There's one. And it's hard to see on the camera, but there's another one right here. And I simply just push all the tabs until the interior comes loose from the bottom. Hopefully it'll let go now. No, there's still one that doesn't want to let go. So let me take that. A little push. And now it comes loose. You notice the big metal plate. It's held in place by two plastic pins on the frame. And that's simply a weight for the car to make the car nice and heavy. And here we have the empty bottom plate of the car. So now we can grab our current conducting couplers. And for this we use this Marklin 7 2021 current conducting couplers. In the little box you find, of course, instructions, and then a whole set of parts. A few wires, and of course also the couplers itself. These little parts go inside the current conducting coupler pocket. Then we have the two little strips, the brass strips, but you can see they are already pre-installed on this particular car. They're right there. And they have little, here's the two current conducting couplers. They work with the NEM pockets, so they can be pushed in place. Then this I call a little H strip. It is, these are wheel wipers, axle wipers. You install these on one of the two trucks, and it grounds your lights. The little pin will go into one of the LED light strips. And then finally you have two wires that will feed from the current conducting coupler plates, those brass plates, to the lights. They have little connectors which will slide onto those tabs. You see that this brass plate is held in place by tiny little tabs on each side, two of them. And all you have to do is move this, slide this little plate, and then you can lift it once the cutouts in that plate are aligned with the tabs. Now what we have to do is put this little copper piece inside the current or inside the coupler. And for that, you can see that that little tab on the bottom has to slide into the coupler pocket. So that's much easier to do if you remove the coupler first from the coupler pocket. So I'll pull it out. Oh, took off the bumper while I was doing that. And luckily that just pushes right back in. And now I can put this little copper piece into place, but again you have to watch this bottom. You see that little tab right there? That needs to slide inside the coupler pocket, just like it did right here. I'm not sure if I can show this to you. That little end piece is inside on the top of the coupler pocket. And then these strips will just sit in place just like that. And once we have everything back together, just like this, now we can grab our little brass cover plate and put it back on. The cuts aligned with the tabs, and then you can slide it forward till it clicks. It should click in place. Once it's all the way forward, you'll feel a tiny little click there. And now it's in place. And we got our first current conducting coupler mounted. Now you see how it operates here. It keeps in contact with the brass plate. So we do the same on this side. I'll pull the coupler out, slide the brass plate back, lift it out. And now I get the little copper Y piece. Push it through the hole and then make sure that it goes into the NEM coupler pocket. Give it a little help with the screwdriver. Pop, there it pops in place. And then get my brass cover piece again, set it on top and slide it into place. Again, you should feel a little click. There. That's it. Now, when I push in the coupler itself, that tab that you see on the coupler that sticks up needs to go under the little tab that is inside the coupler pocket. You see how I go in the hole under an angle, and that helps to make sure that it goes underneath the Y piece from the current conducting coupler. And then you should see this little piece sticking out, the little piece from the coupler, and that's a good sign. That means it went underneath that other piece. So that's important to put it in under an angle and to check that indeed it didn't just simply push out that Y piece, but that you went underneath. So I go in under an angle, put it in, and there you see again the little lip sticking out. And that concludes installing the current conducting couplers. So now we have the wires. You can install them now. You slide them onto the tab. As you can tell, the red wire has the male plug on it, and the brown wire has the female plug. In this case, it was a pretty good tight fit, but unlike that. And then we still need to install the axle wipers onto the trucks. Here again is that axle wiper. And it has the little male pin. So I'm going to install it on the side that has the little male pin. The truck itself, you can see, has the little cutouts already for the tabs that are on this axle wiper. And it will just fit in place like that. And the wire has to be fed through the hole like so. And it goes through the center of the truck so that it can be let into the car. Then this first axle is easy. We simply go underneath that axle, push it under the other side, and if it's too long, then you can just pop out the axle for a second, the wheel set, put this thing into place. And it's going to lay in there loose. It's going to be kept in place by the two axles. I need to make sure both lips are underneath the axle. There. See, now it's wiping the axle, and I can simply put in the other wheel set again. It's a bit clumsy because I'm looking at both the item itself and at the video screen. So, but here we have everything in place, and the truck is reassembled. Now this truck, remember, there's the two little steps, and that needs to go forward towards the coupler. So this is how I need to install it. Put the wire through the hole and simply push the truck in place. This is all you have to do for the current conducting couplers of your passenger car, but one car in that train will also need a pickup shoe, and the power from that pickup shoe will go through the current conducting couplers. So we're going to show you how to install a pickup shoe into the truck in part 2 of this video.